It's no secret that I absolutely have a love-hate relationship for the Honda 300L. I mean, I've had 4 of them already. And this makes 5. But now I got the Rally. And I'm going to answer a lot of those questions you're asking today. Why the heck am I on another 300L? Or why did I decide to go with the Rally? And if you've been here before, you know how I like doing the reviews of my bikes. But if you're new here, what I like doing is I like those butterflies and that exciting honeymoon phase to really kind of fizzle out. So I like being at least, say, 1,000 miles, which we're at 1,100 right here on this bike, or I at least like being past that first service. So again, some of those really off the showroom floor butterfly feelings can be out of the gate right there. And I own this bike. This isn't a media bike. I actually bought it with my own money. I bought it like a week after I bought my Honda Trans out. And the first point I want to talk about of this motorcycle is the engine. The power, because I think that's a really big concern for a lot of people that will be looking at picking up the Rally or again, even a base 300L. Is it underpowered? It's not an incredibly fast motorcycle. You're not going to get to those top speeds. They're roughly around 70, 75. If you're going down a hill, you might be able to get a little bit more out of it. You know, for me, it's plenty fine. If I want to run to the store, I can do it, right? I can get on the highway, which is right around 65 miles per hour right there, and be perfectly fine. Now, do I want to get on the interstate where the speed limit's 70, 75? No, I don't, even though you could, but when you get up there, you lose all of your passing power. And that's something I like having on a bike is, again, that passing power, some of that back end that you know you have if there's a situation or something that's coming up, you can get out of it. That is probably one of the biggest downfalls of this because you have what you got. And that's it. And once you get there, you're pinned out a lot of the times, right? When you get up to 70, your passing power is kind of gone. So when I say it's underpowered, I think you got to ask that question a different way, honestly. Is it underpowered for what? Or for who? As again, I stay with my reviews. I'm reviewing this as far as my riding style. Easy to medium off-roading. I do a lot of road as well, and I do get on a highway. So again, I'm 50-50. And that is honestly where this bike fits for me. Being 50-50 or wanting to go off-road, and if I see that trail, I can go down it. Or if I'm on a service road, I can do it. And that's plenty of power for all that. The next point I want to talk about is ride height. And let me tell you what, these bikes are tall. Even the regular 300L, in my opinion, it's tall. It sits like the Africa Twin, obviously not as heavy, but they sit tall. And believe it or not, the Rally is actually slightly taller than the regular 300L. And I was out on a ride with my buddy, and I'm like, he goes to my bike, he goes, man, that just looks tall. I'm like, I don't know, I thought it was the same. And he swings a leg over and he's like, man, it is taller. And I swung a leg over his. I'm like, this is weird, right? And he had the upgraded suspension on his 300L. It's just strange, you know? And again, when I would stand on, I was right on those balls of my feet. And I don't like that. Again, when I go off-roading, if I get into a pickle, I want to be able to walk it over that situation in a low gear right there, you know? Now, I did also drop mine, which I'll do another video talking about all of my mods, since you see I got quite a few on here already, but I did lower mine. And now that it's lowered, I mean, I can flat foot it with a kink in my leg. It almost feels like the 300LS that I had before. And this is so nice. It really is. Again, you can walk it over any situations. You got that confidence and you feel locked down and planted. But yes, stock right out of the gate, this is a very tall bike. And as we're talking about suspension, yes, the suspension on this is just as soft as on the 300Ls. It's incredibly soft. You get that front dip there whenever you hit your brakes, and the back is even softer. So you might be thinking, like, why would I lower it if the suspension is already that soft? Right to my first point of who is this bike for, right? If you're on road or highway or even that washout road, I like the softer suspension. Again, I'm not someone that's out here wheeling or trying to do jumps or anything like that. I'm, again, a easygoing, adventurous rider, right? You know, I like getting out there and exploring, so I'm not pretty crazy. And if I'm on a highway or those rough roads, I like getting that plush feeling. It's not super soft where you're bottoming out, but if you are aggressive riding, you're treating it like a dirt bike, then yeah, you might want to upgrade it. But for me, again, I know the suspension gets a lot of hate on these bikes. I honestly like it. Now, this is one of my favorite things about the 300L Rally version. Again, talking about having 4 regular 300Ls, this is what really separates it, the wind blockage. And first off, you're looking at the windshield here, right? We're like, oh, well, just put a windshield on your regular 300L, which I have done before, which actually works. And it's game changing. It takes that wind beating up off your chest and you go for those longer rides and not feel like you're getting ripped off. That's just something I like. Again, I want to be comfortable when I'm on those long rides to get to that destination. But other than the windshield of this bike, right down here, and it's not just the gas tank, which yes, that's a big thing about this bike as well, but you got these fairings, all this plastic that comes out here. So whenever you're riding, your legs are tucked in, and it's taking a lot of that wind just beating up your legs, and then that chest up there. Of course, I got my hand guards on up here and everything too. It's so much more enjoyable, right? You're not fighting the wind. You're just sitting there enjoying your ride. You might be thinking like, it's so mild compared to the regular 300L. But honestly, when you sit on this, it feels like a mini ADV bike rather than a mini dirt bike or a road legal dirt bike like the regular 300L. So many of you do know, but if you're new here and you don't, I don't script any of my videos. Just kind of go off my honest user's feeling of the machine. And that statement I just made right there really clicked, and that truly separated them. If you're wondering, should I go with the regular 300L or the Rally? The regular 300L is a road legal dirt bike. The Rally feels like a mini ADV bike. That really hits home. Now, hopefully you can see this screen right here, even though I got a wicked glare going on it, but I want to talk about the tech. And the tech on this bike is pretty much what you need for this bike. I have the one with the ABS because, again, I do a lot of road riding and I do really appreciate ABS. Even when I'm off-road, I'm not looking to really squeal my back wheel or anything, but I do turn it off sometimes just to get a little bit spicy out there. So really nice to have that. And I do recommend you paying the extra. I think it's only 300 bucks, and it's something nice just to have, especially if you plan on doing long road trips on this guy. But again, you got your gear indicator, your mileage, your gas, and you can see I'm getting 64 miles to the gallon so far right here. And I pin this thing out a lot, so really nice to see that. Now, it doesn't have any charge ports on or anything, but you can see I put this little deal right there, and it's got the accessory plug already plugged into it. So you can get these accessories pretty easy. Bam, you route it down, plug it in, and you're good to go. And as you can see right up here, you got this little bar where you can mount your navigation. I mount my phone, which I keep my maps right up there as well. It's just in that perfect location. It's just, again, such a nice little touch. Now, I have heard from many that they don't like the headlights. It just looks like cartoon bug eyes, which, yeah, they do, but they grow on me. It gives it personality. I don't know. I really like the headlight. The one thing that drives me nuts, it's almost like the Triumph here. As you see, your regular headlights on, only one turns on. You have to come over here to the high beam to turn both of them on, which I run with my high beams majority anytime just so I'm visible. But again, if you're on your regular, that's where it looks goofy, like you got an out headlight. Now, as you can see, I also put my fog lights on, which we'll be talking about in the mods video. But again, now I got that great visibility. And again, it's doing what I need. Now, if you've been around my channel and you've watched any of my other 300L review videos, you all know I'm not a fan of these stock IRC tires. Again, I've always stated they're not the worst, but they're not the best. They get you by. I'm always excited to change them, which I am now as well. But I will tell you, they definitely get the job done with whatever you're getting through as far as road and off-road, but you do feel it slide out a little bit, you know, and again, even on-road, you feel that slide. So I do want to change them, but I'm getting by with them. Definitely feel a lot more planted on the Rally than I do on a regular 300L. But touching more on the point I just mentioned about the tires, where the 300L would feel a little bit more dancy and the Rally feels a little bit more planted, that goes right back to what I stated before, dirt bike and ADV bike. And that's not really the tires here because they're the same tires, right? I think it's that extra weight, which really isn't much compared to the bikes. I believe the Rally is only roughly around 30 pounds more. And again, it's really in the gas tank there. Everything you're seeing out here is just lightweight plastic. Now, of course, I got my mods and everything as well. And I'll talk more about that whenever we get to the mod video as well, because I did some transformations to it, which made it feel even more like an adventure bike. But talking about the danciness, it's the weight, it's not the tires. And yes, you do feel more planted on the Rally compared to the regular 300L, which I really appreciate. Now, when we talk about weight of our bikes, when we go down, which is bound to happen if you're off-roading, right? It's not so much, hey, this bike is 600 pounds or 450 or 330, or like the regular 300L, which is around 300. So right there, talking about the weight difference, 30 pounds, is this much heavier? No, it's not. But at the core, 300 pounds is still 300 pounds. I'm not someone sitting there at the gym working out. I'm just your average guy, and 300 pounds is heavy. And at its core, we got this bike sitting right here. If I want to lift it up, it's pretty darn easy, right? You can just get into here, lean into it. Hopefully, my rear end wasn't showing there, and we can pop it up. But talking about that being 330 pounds, pretty much a full tank in there, you still feel that weight. Me just lifting up here in a perfect situation where I'm not even riding, I still feel it. So my point here is don't let the weight difference from the Rally to the regular 300L be something that bothers you, right? 30 pounds or whatever it may be. It's not that big of a difference. 300 pounds, no matter which way you slice it, is still heavy. But yes, for a motorcycle, these are very lightweight and it's definitely a lot more manageable. But depending on your riding situations and what situation you're in, again, the bike is going to feel twice as heavy, and it's nice having something light like this. Now, another difference from the regular 300L to the Rally is a little bit lower. I'm talking minute. Both of them have tons of ground clearance, and you're really probably hard to notice the difference. The difference of the Rally maybe is just because the plastics in it comes with a skid plate on it. But as you can see, I lowered mine, put a bigger skid plate on it, and I still have tons of space. So as far as ground clearance on the Rally, not an issue. You have plenty. So at the end of the day, I know I'm late to coverage on this bike right here, and these videos probably won't get much traction, but I got a lot of coverage coming on this bike because I don't see this bike going anywhere anytime soon. You all know I like to buy bikes and move them pretty quick, cover them, and then they're gone and I'm on to the next one. But this might be the most fun I've had on a motorcycle in a long time because it's doing everything I want. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But for the price, my gosh, I absolutely love it.